It is simply what's more important. The two houses that Westwood Homes wants to build or the preservation of some 80 to 85 large stature, majestic old trees. So ask yourself, who benefits? Well, certainly Westwood Homes are going to sell the houses and make money from the sale. To a lesser extent, the city from property taxes. Who benefits from the trees? All the citizens of Sherwood and literally anyone else who comes to the area who would like to enjoy the experience of that natural area and park. But you might say, well, the developer owns the land, he bought it, it's his, he can do whatever he wants with it. No. No, he can't. I own my little piece of Sherwood. I bought it, I paid for it, I can do anything I want with it. No, I can't. I want to put up a big honking billboard that says, I love Sherwood, right on my front lawn. And I can't do that. And you say, well, I can't do that because we all have to abide by the city codes. I can't put a billboard up because of a city code, and Westwood Homes can't chop down those trees if the city exercises its authority and requires those trees to be retained. You say, well, the city doesn't have the authority to do that. Yeah, it does. City Code 16.142.070, trees on property subject to certain land use applications. And the very first item in this part of the code says, the purpose of this section is to establish processes and standards which will minimize the cutting or destruction of trees and woodlands in the city. It's the primary reason this part of the code exists, to minimize the cutting and destruction of trees and woodlands in the city. The city has the authority. You, 7 people, have the authority if you choose to exercise it. Section D.4.3 of that same tree code states that along with a number of other reasons to retain certain trees that they, quote, otherwise merit retention because of unusual size. Keep that in mind, unusual size. Size of the tree stand, historic association, habitat or wildlife preservation, or some combination is determined by the city. So what does the developer say in the response to that? On page 7 of the developer's written narrative, the third folder in his application, concerning unusual size, the developer says nothing. He ignores it. Concerning size of the tree stand, the developer says nothing. He ignores it. He does say this about historic association, quote, there are no historic associations located on the site. And that's just not true. Do a simple Google search and search what makes a tree historic. And the first thing that comes up in the vast majority of answers is age. Next in the top 5, depending on what answer you look like, is size. The age of those red fern trees, most of them are over 100 years old. Size, most of them are higher than 100 feet. We have size, we have age, we have an historic association. The city has the authority if you choose to exercise it. But you better do it soon because the clock is ticking. If you don't act soon, in a matter of months, there's going to be guys over there with chainsaws, and in a couple of days, there's going to be nothing left but a 528-foot scar where all those trees used to be. And if you want to plant new ones, it's going to take a century for that new tree to grow to where the trees are right now. So basically, you're going to have another Murdoch Road situation on your hand, and there won't be a damn thing anybody can do about it. Should have left that out. Didn't know it was Maid Marian night. So, what's more important? Those 2 houses or all those trees? It's your choice. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Next, Neil Shannon.
Thank you. Neil Shannon, 23997 Southwest Redfern Drive, Sherwood, Oregon.
Thank you.
Continuing on with the subject of trees, and I've been here several times talking to you about parks. This evening you will also be considering and probably passing a resolution accepting the capital improvement plan that's here. One of the things that I have discovered in my journey through the Sherwood Forest, so to speak, is that we're doing a very poor planning for parks. I see that in a 5-year plan for the capital improvement plans, we're talking about $12.285 million for the Cedar Creek Trail, and I think that's great. I really will looking forward to enjoying the Cedar Creek Trail. I see that we're talking about $100,000 for a dog park, possibly next year. But other than that, I don't see anything planning for future parks. City of Sherwood seems to develop parks based on how the developer subdivides the land. And the city ends up being given just what is kind of left over with the developer. So I do think that in the future, and I think that the Parks Board, I spoke to them last night, is definitely interested in getting more involved in selecting, choosing the parks rather than just being given what's left behind at the end. So consider with your capital improvement plan, consider with your budgets, what can we do for future planning of parks? Thank you.
Great, thank you. Any other citizen comments? Great, we will move on to presentations. We have 2 presentations this evening. First, proclaiming July 15th, 16th as the Sherwood Robin Hood Festival for 2022. Since 1954, the Sherwood Robin Hood Festival has been a long-standing tradition in Sherwood. The Sherwood Robin Hood Festival Committee is made up entirely of volunteers from the community who have willingly given countless hours to make this a memorable and successful event for the community. And July 15th and 16th of 2022 has been set aside for the Sherwood Robin Hood Festival in Old Town with events and parade. The International Archery Shoot between the Sylvan Archers of Sherwood, Oregon and the Nottingham, England will be held on the 16th and 17th of July. So now let it be resolved that I, Keith Mays, Mayor of Sherwood, do hereby proclaim July 15th, 16th, 2022 as the Sherwood Robin Hood Festival weekend and call upon everyone in Sherwood and surrounding communities to participate fully and with all the festival ceremonies, activities, and events. Now we get to introduce our outstanding Maid Marian Court and Junior Court. So I need help introducing them. We have some awesome certificates of recognition, and if council would like to join me to go around front to shake their hands as they're introduced. Or not. Whatever. So, filling in today, introduce.
I am Jessica Mulkey. Good evening, Mayor Mays, Sherwood City Council members, those in the audience tonight, and Sherwood citizens watching at home. I am Jessica Mulkey, Assistant Chaperone at the Sherwood Robin Hood Festival's Maid Marian Court, and I am pleased to come before you tonight to present to you the 2022 Maid Marian Court. The fine young women of this court are very proud to have become this year's ambassadors at the City of Sherwood and of our community's festival. I would like to begin the court's presentation with our Maid Marian and her senior court. Anna Phillips is a junior at Sherwood High School and for the 2nd year in a row has gone to state championships for poetry. Anna looks forward to becoming the speech and debate team vice president next year and has also found a new love for the theater and is excited to have a role in the spring play A Midsummer Night's Dream. Anna has been involved in jiu-jitsu through the years and looks forward to getting back into it this summer. Anna has been on the Maid Marian Court for the last 2 years and looks forward to celebrating a Robin Hood Festival this year. Anna Phillips. Anya Lindgren is a freshman at Sherwood High School, where she has enjoyed being in various musicals as well as choir. She has also participated in a regional youth religious choir this year. She is on the Chehalem swim team, where her favorite events are breaststroke and backstroke. Anya enjoys public speaking and playing piano. She likes sharing her talents both in the community and in church. She was on the court last year and is excited to have this opportunity again. Anya Lindgren. Emma Bounty is a freshman at Sherwood High School where she enjoys playing on the tennis team. She also performed in the fall Sherwood High School musical All Together Now and played the part of Helga Hufflepuff in the winter play Puffs. She enjoys reading, writing, and drawing in her spare time. Her career goals are to become an author of fantasy fiction or a marine biologist. Emma enjoys volunteer work and helping in the community. She is excited for the opportunity to work with the Sherwood community. Emma LaBounty. Complementing the Maid Marian Senior Court is the adorable 2022 Maid Marian Junior Court. Arabella Caldwell is a 4th grader at Archer Glen Elementary where she has been involved in the Passport Club, took 2nd place in this year's school spelling bee, and never misses an opportunity to sing in the annual talent show. Outside of school, Arabella plays piano, loves soccer, ice skates, and performs with the VPA. In the summer, Arabella travels to fun places. In the past, she's been to Norway, England, California, and Montana. She loves adventuring. Arabella is excited to be involved in her community through the Maid Marian Court. Arabella Caldwell. Reagan Falconer is a 3rd grader at Hawksview Elementary where she participated in Oregon Battle of the Books. Reagan moved to Sherwood last year and has loved how magical it is. Outside of school, she loves making and hanging out with friends, roller skating, and doing dance at Chehalem Valley Dance Academy. She loves to keep Sherwood beautiful by cleaning up trash at parks and trails and has volunteered for Trash Palooza this year. Reagan is so excited to be part of the Maid Marian Junior Court and the Sherwood community. Reagan Falconer. Isabella Jarvis is a 2nd grade homeschool student who lives on a hobby farm. Isabella loves to learn and is a voracious reader, piano player, soccer player, and track athlete. When not studying or playing with her siblings, Isabella loves to spend time in the garden and with her farm animals. She helps run an organic egg stand in the summer, takes care of 2 goats, 3 barn cats, and 1 house dog. Isabella dreams of becoming a veterinarian when she grows up. She is excited to represent Sherwood in the community events through the Robin Hood Festival. Isabella Jarvis. And last but not least, we have Aylin Thompson. She's a 1st grader at Archer Glen where her favorite subjects are math, STEM, and music. Outside of school, Aylin loves to play with her friends, ride her bike, do gymnastics, and play with her dog, Mr. Beasley. She also enjoys Taekwondo where she is on her way to achieving her Blue Belt certification. Aylin loves animals and hopes to one day become a veterinarian. She takes very good care of her pets and will always stop to say hi to any cat, dog, or squirrel she comes across. Aylin is extremely excited for the opportunity to be part of the Maid Marian Court this year. Aylin Thompson. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our 2022 Maid Marian Court. 3 cheers for these amazing girls who make up our court. Hip, hip, huzzah! Hip, hip, huzzah! Hip, hip, huzzah! Thank you, Mayor Mays and City Council for making the time to recognize our 2022 Maid Marian Court.
How awesome is that?
Awesome.
So, they are going to do a wonderful job representing our community, not just at the Robin Hood Festival this year, but at events all over the county. So, next item is new business. We have Resolution 2022-029, adopting the capital improvement plan for fiscal year 2022-23. David?
Not a clear room.
They saw your name coming up.
I know, the boring accountant coming up. Good evening, Mayor, Council. Tonight I'm bringing forth in front of you the city's capital improvement plan. The city's former community development director, Julia, discussed this in front of council during a work session on April 5th. Should the city council adopt the capital improvement plan, or better known as a CPI plan for fiscal year 22-23? Many funding sources require a capital improvement plan to be adopted before funds can be spent. Having a plan is a precursor to the expenditure of system development charges and revenue from sources outside the city of Sherwood. This staff report represents the fiscal year 22-23 capital improvement plan and the adopted resolution. This CIP plan, it's only a plan. It's not a commitment, nor does it obligate funds. It is a vision of the projects that combines input from city council, advisory committees, and staff into one document. Now, annual revisions of this plan is required to adjust the plan to changing priorities, circumstances, and of course, the current economic environment. Exhibit A to the staff report provides the entirety of the CIP, including projects beyond 5 years, all the projects planned for the next 5 years, and their proposed timing. The financial impacts from this resolution have taken into account within the city manager's proposed fiscal year 22-23 budget. Now, in the event the budget process necessitates changes, an amendment can always be brought forward at a later date. Staff respectfully recommends City Council approval of Resolution 22-29, adopting the capital improvement plan for fiscal year 22-23. And with that, I will open it up for any questions or comments that you may have for me or any of the staff here.
Awesome. Thank you, David. Good job. We've reviewed it in work session prior to this, at least once, if not a couple times. Questions for David from anyone? Sean, do you have any questions? You're good? Seeing none, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2022-029, adopting the capital improvement plan for fiscal year 2022-23.
Second.
Awesome. Discussion on the motion? All in favor of approving Resolution 2022-029, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Council. Thank you, David.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council.
Moving on to number 9, public hearings. We have 2 public hearings on 2 ordinances. Sylvia, would you like to read whatever we need to read in the record? And do we reopen the public hearing on the first one? Because we closed it?
I believe it was a continuance, Mayor.
Of the second
Right.
one.
I believe it was a continuance.
Right, it was continued, but we closed the public hearing, but we can choose to reopen the public hearing. So we'll do that.
The Sherwood City Council will hold public hearings this evening to receive testimony on Ordinance 2022-004, amending sections of the Sherwood Zoning and Community Development Code for new housing choices to comply with Oregon House Bill 2001, and Ordinance 2022-005, amending sections of the Transportation System Plan for housing choices. This is the second hearing on Ordinance 2005. The public hearing this evening will be conducted as follows. Staff will present the staff report. Questions, if any, by the City Council for staff. We will then consider written testimony. We will then open the public hearing for testimony, and the time will be limited to 4 minutes per person. Any interested person may present testimony. We will then close the public hearing, and no other comments will be heard from the public. Final comments by staff. Questions of staff, if any, by the council, followed by council discussion. This is the second hearing before the council on both these ordinances. A decision may be made by the council at the close of these hearings, or the matter may be continued to time and date certain. If the matter is continued to time and date certain, this is the only notice of that date you will receive. If you wish to speak, please complete a request to speak form and submit it to the city recorder prior to the time the public hearing is open for testimony. The mayor will recognize people who wish to speak. Any comments must be addressed through the mayor. When you come forward, please state your name and place of residence for the record, as this hearing will be recorded.
Thank you, Sylvia. Hi, Joy.
Good evening, Mayor, Mays, and councilors. I just have a couple of slides, and then we can move forward in regards to next steps. Great. All right, so oh my goodness, I'm sorry. Let me just back it up. I'm skipping slides here. All right, all right, it's moving by itself. Okay, so I was like,
It's haunted.
Oh my
Your laptop
God.
is haunted.
All right.
Brad?
Stop, Robin Hood. Okay, so tonight, the code amendments basically introduces new housing types that implements House Bill 2001. Those are tri and quadplexes and cottage clusters. It also allows for the creation of fee simple lots through the condominium process. And we are also making minor and non-substantive housekeeping changes that were through that review. So this is the fourth hearing for tonight. It's been continued by that many. So there was legal review and proposed edits by city attorney were all non-substantive. They did not change the intent or the purpose of the language. They were made for clarity and also, removing incorrect references. City Council also had a work session with staff on May 17th and requested that additional amendments to the ordinance be made, and as listed on this slide. For consistency, we replaced common greens with common courtyard. We eliminated the whole concept of share court. We clarified that townhome setbacks of 5 feet for exterior lot lines. We also clarified that lot depth standards were minimum standards, and cottage cluster accessory structures are now limited to 50 square feet with a maximum of 1 per unit. So the latest clean and red line code language were included as part of tonight's meeting packet. There were no additional public testimony received as of the end of day today. So based on that, staff recommends that, based on the findings and applicable code criteria, staff recommends that City Council approve the proposed text amendments for the new housing choices. But it is my understanding that due to the emergency clause that we need a unanimous vote. So staff is recommending that we continue this to the next City Council hearing.
Right. Unfortunately, Councilor Browse is out of town and not able to call in. So we have two choices. It's important to declare an emergency so that it can go into effect at the end of this month versus 30 days from when it's passed. So we have two choices. One is we'll all be getting together on Monday. We can do it 15 minutes before the budget meeting on Monday, or we can do it at the next City Council meeting in 2 weeks. Because I would suggest we do it Monday at 5:45 on this one and the next one, just so we can get it done, and it still probably goes to other folks to review, and other levels of government. But before we get there, first, is there anyone in the audience that would like to give testimony on the proposed ordinance? Brad, is there anyone online that would like to give testimony on the proposed ordinance? So we'll close the public hearing on ordinance 2022-004. Any discussion? I don't think there is. Is there a motion?
Never mind.
Would someone like to make a motion to continue this to a date and time certain? I'll move.
If I knew the language, I would.
So from a calendar, it would be to the 13th. So would someone like to make a motion to continue ordinance 2022-004 to?
I can do that. I'll make a motion that we continue ordinance 2022-004 to Monday,
The 13th.
the 13th at 5:45.
Second.
Discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion to continue this to the 13th special city council meeting at 5:45, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, council. Next public hearing is ordinance 2022-005. Joy?
All right. Thank you again. Let's hope this works. All right. This is the second City Council hearing for this ordinance. Again, the proposed amendments are to the Transportation System Plan. We're creating a new public alley cross-section detail, and we're revising standards for residential roadways. Again, this slide shows the proposed TSP amendment for the public alley with a 21-foot right-of-way, 16-foot high light pole, and no parking that would be allowed on the actual alleyway. We're also, again, modifying the residential design standards of right-of-way. We're deleting the existing 28 feet, and we're replacing it with a new 36-foot local street residential standard that definitely allows for parking on both sides of the street, but also allows for better maneuverability of public safety vehicles and address the community's concerns in regards to parking. As far as public testimony, there were no additional public testimony received as of the end of the day today. And based on that and the findings and applicable code criteria in the staff report, staff recommends that City Council approve the proposed text amendments of ordinance 2022-005 tonight. That concludes my presentation and can answer any questions you may have.
Awesome, Joy. First, anyone like to give testimony on the proposed ordinance that's here live? Saying none. Brad, anyone online? No one online. We will close the public hearing for the second hearing on ordinance 2022-005. Like the first one, we should continue this one to next Monday at 5:45, just so we can declare an emergency and all that. Just out of abundance of caution.
Does this one need an emergency?
There's
green, finally. Yeah, I think it would make sense to go ahead and do it that time, just so we can coordinate it together and they could go into effect at the same time in an emergency clause, I think was the purpose.
great. So is there a motion to do that?
I'll make a motion to refer ordinance 2022-005 to a continued hearing on Monday, June 13th at 5:45.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the motion to continue ordinance 2022-005 to a special city council meeting on June 13th at 5:45, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, council. Thank you, Joy. City manager report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to start this evening by turning over my time initially to the Community Service Development Director, Kristen Schweitzer. Kristen.
The fun stuff. So we are thrilled to be able to bring more music back this summer with Music on the Green. So I just wanted to update everybody. I see a thumbs up. Thank you, Sean. So the first date for Music on the Green will be on Wednesday, July 6th, and we will run for 5 weeks until August 3rd. So same 6:30, I had to remind myself, down at Stella Olson Park. Have a great lineup, sponsors down there, food down there, beer and wine. So we're just thrilled to have it back. The next big event for us that we have to return is Movies in the Park. That's coming back as well. That will be August 12th, August 19th, and August 26th, all Friday nights. And this year we're going to be showing Sing 2, Encanto, and then also Spider-Man No Way Home. So great lineup. I'm excited. My kids are excited. And then also, we already talked about Robin Hood Festival tonight. Everybody has that on their calendar. I just would like to mention again, Cruise in Sherwood, of course, is June 18th. So just around the corner as well. So we're just happy to be able to return to a little bit of more normalcy, have a few more events. We're still ramping back up with Music on the Green and hope to get back to a full slate of 7 concerts next summer, but we're just thrilled to be back. Any questions?
No, it's going to be great. Good job. Any other? Okay, great.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Also, on behalf of the Sherwood Police Department, I would like to announce that tomorrow is Irma's retirement party. It will be from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at the police department. So we're encouraging people in the community to come and wish Irma a happy retirement from service.
And as a reminder, Irma is who?
Irma is our beloved police dog who's been serving the community for, I think, almost 10 years. So we're really excited to send her off and to let her go to her forever home where she'll be working with her handler, or going home with her handler, Corey, who who will be taking care of her going forward and is already enjoying, I think, some of the fruits of retired life. So excited to be able to send her off in a very public and way. So we encourage the community to come and support.
Awesome.
Without their dogs, right?
Yeah, they are saying that they would, do not bring your pets
Okay.
to this. This is not necessarily a pet-friendly event. So,
Irma is safe, but just don't bring
right.
other
Yeah.
four-leggeds with.
She's still a police dog.
She's still a police dog.
Yeah.
And with that, Mr. Mayor, I'd be happy to answer any questions have of my staff.
Awesome. Thanks, Keith. Questions for Keith or his team? Awesome. Moving right along. Council announcements.
I'll jump in.
What?
I'll go first.
Yeah. Great.
So first of all, thank you for the reminders on all the great events coming up. I'm super excited after two summers without all of those wonderful events that we have here in Sherwood. It hasn't felt like Sherwood. So I'm very happy to have all of those things back, and I know the community will be as well. I was able to attend my first Parks Board meetings last night as the liaison, which was very exciting. We got a very lengthy update on the Cedar Creek Trail. The Parks Board had a number of good questions. We got some good updates on the timing. Been some delays with some sewer issue that I think we all know about on council. I think the ribbon cutting is scheduled for August? To be determined, but somewhere in that time frame, yeah. And I think there's going to be a soft opening potentially before that. So the trail is, after long last, is close.
12 years, 10 years.
Yeah, 12 years, yeah,
10 years
for a
after the money.
2,500-foot trail. But
Yeah.
we're excited to have it. Talked a little bit about, they got an updated presentation on the Festival Plaza, which we've all, of course, seen ourselves, and so that the board is very excited about that, moving that forward. Potentially in time for next year's festival season, which would be amazing. And then I hadn't known about this, but we got a presentation on an updated design for the upgrades to the Veterans Memorial Park over there. So they're going to put in some hardscaping and some flagpoles and clean everything up and add some additional elements, and it's really, really going to be nice. So I'm really happy. We got a grant for that, and it's going to look really great. So that's my updates.
Awesome. Thank you. Sean, would you like to give an update?
Yeah, I don't really have much to say, so I'm going to pass today.
Sounds good. Thanks, Sean.
Yeah, so I want to congratulate the Sherwood High School seniors who are graduating this Friday, 7 o'clock at the high school. Congratulations to what was probably one of the weirdest high school careers of ever, and congrats for making it through. Also, I want to encourage you who are looking for other summer activities, including these great events, to check out our library summer programs. I just happened to be in there the other day, and there were books that were on topics that I had never thought of, that I got one and loved it, and expanding my knowledge of different viewpoints and different things, and the librarians were phenomenal at being able to recommend certain things. There's audiobooks, there's documentaries. I mean, take advantage of this fantastic facility, especially if you're looking for cheap to free things to do with your children. There's story times, etc. I don't know them all, but I know we took advantage of them with our kids as well. And then finally, in connection with Cruising Sherwood, I guess because Renee's not here as well, go to the website for the chamber, and there's a spot in the lower right-hand corner where you can click on volunteer, and there's still need of volunteers. So please do that, and that's what makes these kind of events possible. And that is all from me.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. Kim?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, I attended the Police Advisory Board meeting, and we had a great presentation from our Washington County District Attorney, Kevin Barton, who is also just newly reelected. He gave us a great presentation on things going on in the DA's office, and that's on YouTube if anybody wants to catch up with that and check out his PowerPoint. Also, Chief Hanlon gave us an update on the police department's stats, and as far as calls for service, and the calls for service aren't declining. They just keep going up. He gave us some details on thefts and car, catalytic converters and things that are being stolen. That's also, he has a good, you can check that out also on YouTube. And then just last week, Councilor Roser and I finished up our stint on the League of Oregon Cities Finance and Taxation Committee, and we forwarded some recommendations for the next legislative session to the LOC board, and they will determine what to put out to councils. We all, every 2 years, we go through that list and determine as a council what we would like LOC to be advocating for, and they put all that together and then start advocating with our legislators. So that's all I got.
Awesome, thank you. Tim?
Yeah, I got a couple of things. I'll start with the League of Oregon Cities. As Kim mentioned, we finished up the work on the taxation side committee. Of course, I couldn't make that meeting, so thanks for being there and voting on behalf of Sherwood. We also wrapped up, I'm also on the League of Oregon Cities Broadband Committee, which works on broadband, digital equity, and making sure that we have broadband services all across the state. We finished up our work and got policy recommendations to the LOC board, which will go out to vote for the members. And for those that may not know, the League of Oregon Cities is a huge advocate for cities and advocating with Salem and making sure cities' voices and our community's voices are heard in terms of what we want. I'm also on the National League of Cities Information Technology Committee, which does similar work at the federal level, and we've been doing we have a meeting tomorrow actually, and we've been doing a lot of work at the federal level to make sure there's more funds going directly to cities as opposed to having it all filtered through the state, because when the state gets a hold of it, it takes forever to filter down to us where we need it. So we're doing some good work there.
More importantly, the state usually keeps a big part of it.
Yes. They look for every excuse to keep that money. Several have mentioned already, we have the Cruisin' Festival coming up. I will be out there as usual. I volunteered to drive the garbage golf cart and collect garbage all day. It sounds weird, but it is the best volunteer job at the Cruisin' Festival, hands down.
It is one's opinion.
Yes, it is.
That's because he gets to sit all day in a cart.
That's right. You have shade. But no, that should be a fun event. I'm really looking forward to that. So I think I'll leave it at that for tonight.
Awesome, thanks, Tim. Yeah, certainly busy with LOC, League of Oregon Cities, advisory committees and board meetings and executive blah, blah, blah. It's great that we're involved with city staff and counselors, but also all of our neighboring cities get involved to help advocate in Salem for all of us. Super exciting with graduation, yes. What a crazy 4 years it's been for this class. 2 different high schools, stuck at home, trying to restart. Congratulations to all of them and their families. Summer is almost here, and there is lots and lots of stuff to do, lots of things to volunteer to do. If you are a parent and want to volunteer yourself or your children, contact the city. Tammy Steffens has things for them to help out if they want to help within the community, the city community, but also can connect with the chamber, with Cruisin', with Robin Hood Festival, an awesome event, and on and on and on. There's things to do if you want to with your free time.
We have some seasonal jobs.
We even have seasonal jobs. You want a job? You're a kid? Reach out to us. There's stuff, man. You can help the community in multiple ways. So please do. Beyond that, that's enough. I'm sure there's some things I'm forgetting, but we'll leave it at that. Anything else for the good of the order? Awesome. We will adjourn the city council, and we're going to go to an exec session. Thank you, everyone.